Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve those looking to level up. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are. And living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be diving into the skills of driving. And I'm going to actually cover some key points that you can use so that you can become an overall better driver every time you get behind the wheel of your car, of your truck, of whatever it is that you use to commute, or whatever it is that you use to enjoy yourself, I should rather say, because a lot of us, you're listening, you're probably a driver, but a lot of us, many out there, are not drivers. You know, when I say a driver, a person that truly enjoys the experience every time you get behind the wheel, like a person that drives a little bit better than the regular people, a person that when it gets a little wet, you're probably getting it a little sideways, a person where you like to smash on the gas every now and then. Fucking driver is someone who just enjoys the fucking driving experience, right? And yes, safety is a huge component here, right? But excellence and enjoyment comes right after that, babe. So I'm going to clarify myself here because I always like to lead with the truth. That's just how I am. I like to be a humble guy. I like to let my character speak for itself. And so by all means, I am not no professional driver. I still have a lot to learn. I don't know it all, and I probably never will. I'm always looking to learn. I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to level up my game in all aspects of life, not just in driving, but as a professional, as a husband, as a brother, as a coach, as a whole human being. I believe that us and our bodies are intended to be well-oiled machines for that we can perform at a high level. And so we always got to be learning and growing so that we can keep evolving, right? So again, I am not a professional driver here, but I'm going to, give you some tips and some advice that have helped me along the way, because I've been a person, that has really enjoyed getting behind the wheel ever since before I could even legally drive. And so because of that, I have really picked up on some skills that have saved my ass multiple times, like more than I can even count with my fingers and my hand and my feet. Like, I've had some really close calls. I haven't had ones that I haven't saved. I've had ones that I've really looked back and I'm like, man, God was with me on that one. But it's made me a better driver along the way. It really has, right? And so I've shared on here before that, I've purchased a motorcycle before I even thought about buying a car, right? I love motorcycles. Motorcycles are my passion. And so because I purchased a motorcycle before even having a car, and it probably dates back even to before me having my own legally street motorcycle, right? I used to borrow my mom's car a lot. I'm sure probably you guys used to borrow your parents' car a lot too, growing up. And so in fact, my mom didn't have a car. Like, what she had was one of the most gangster minivans of all time, like of its time, I probably gotta say. She had a Toyota Previa, and the coolest thing about this van was that it was rear wheel drive. Like, man, this thing was awesome. Like, I truly, thinking back, I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm so glad that thing was built like so tough, because I used and abused, and like that shit pretty much never broke on us, and like, my mom wasn't in the best financial situation. So I come to think about it, I was like, man, I fucking ragged that thing so much, and like, me knowing what I know now, like, I would have probably whooped my ass, because it was probably not the smartest thing to do, but that shit was fucking hardcore. That shit held up, and the fact that it was rear wheel drive fucking really allowed me to have a blast in it. And so I really learned to drive and just do what I do because of that, man. Like, man, I remember, like, I drive that thing everywhere. And also, when I would be driving, I'd also, every turn, I'd be trying to drift that thing, and I'd be trying to get sideways, and I'd be trying to, like, that's really where I learned to gain the control of a car being out of control, right? And so, like, every time, I remember it was raining, like, and it was late at night because I was out, I would go and I would look for open parking lots, especially like open blacktop parking lots. And I would go and learn and do my thing, like getting the shit sideways and like getting it out of control and learning to pick it up when it's out of control. And so it was a really fun time, bro. And I say blacktops are the shit. I was gonna say we're the shit, but there's still plenty of blacktop parking lots around, and they are the shit because when it becomes wet, it becomes extra slippery, and so it makes it in a way easier, but also harder for you to drift, right? And so it's easier because the car really loses control is easy, and you don't have to really give it so much gas to really get out of control, and initiate the drift. But it becomes also harder because you could lose control more frequently if you're very heavy on the throttle. And if my name is Wide Open Randy, I go by Wide Open Randy, and so I'm typically always heavy on the throttle. And so I learned, my ways, and I learned by losing control of my fucking of that van. Thankfully, I never slammed it into no walls. Thankfully, I never slammed it into no curbs. Thankfully, I never really, the times that I lost control, it was on open areas. But I learned because I purposely, got it out of control. And so now, me being currently 38 years young, I'm fucking still proud to say that I still fuck around, man. And but having the amount of saves that I've had throughout my driving experience, throughout my driving lifetime, are really highly credited to just learning how to control an out of control vehicle early on in my life, right? And so you see, so I want you to see that the foundation of a good driver, it really just all starts with having a good attitude and really just having a good mindset towards what you're trying to do, right? It's important for you to have a focused and a calm mindset while you're driving so that you can react with confidence. Because if you're not confident, if you're not focused, if you're agitated, you're gonna fucking start, just making corrections or jerking the wheel or making adjustments while you're driving because because you're hesitant, because you're anxious, because you're like, oh my god, what? And that leads, it could lead you to a crash, right? And so a good driver really remains composed under pressure so that he can just make the right calls, right? A good driver also doesn't react and doesn't give in into road rage. That's still a hard one to really understand because it's these days I feel like almost everyone has road rage, and everyone's trying to get somewhere fast, and it's so easy to let it get the best of you. But one of my mentors always told me, like, man, if you get fucking pissed off because someone cut you off or because of this and that, because of some road rage, man, you need some fucking bigger problems in your life, And I didn't understand it, but it was like, man, you're making a lot more money. You're making more money than you can imagine. A little fucking road rage incident ain't gonna fucking bother you because you're like, man, that's just fucking minute. Like that shit doesn't fucking faze me. And so that's when I really started embodying the, man, you want to have bigger problems in your life so that you could grow as an individual, right? And so not having road rage get the best of you, it's important because the minute that you let someone really control your emotions is the very same moment that you lose control of the situation, right? And so we aren't playing video games here, right? Like we're all what we're talking about here is driving in real life. So it's a must that we all make the right calls. Otherwise, we can really just get ourselves and the other person into a severe accident, or we can all just get hurt, and we can just cause a situation that doesn't need to be caused, all because we all let ourselves get heightened under pressure. We all let ourselves let our emotions, get the best of us, right? And so you want to maintain your focus, and you want to be able to just have your composure under these high stress situations so that you can come out on top, right? One simply just makes better decisions when you are in the right mindset. Another important thing that I want to mention here is that you have to have good understanding of the vehicle's capabilities, of the car that you're enjoying, of its limitations, and you want to just know its controls, where everything is, with your eyes closed. You don't want to be learning when you're in the middle of fucking a drift, or when you're in the middle of getting sideways, or when you're in the middle of going fast, or when you're in the middle of a hard braking situation, or oh, where's all my shit, or where's the controls, or what do I get? No, that's the last thing you want to know. You want to be able to know everything where it's at, right? And so this one really just becomes tricky because it's hard for you to know your ride's limitations without really pushing and exceeding those limitations, right? It's a fine line that you got to really ride. And so this is where practicing, especially in open areas where there's no cars around, or in a designated location, really just becomes critical for your safety, for your safety, and then also just for you to have confidence and know that, yo, let me go fuck around, and I'm not gonna get in an accident, I'm not gonna hurt no one, and I know I'm not gonna get in trouble. And so you want to learn, like, how the steering wheel reacts to your changes, right? You want to learn how the handling is affected by those steering wheel jerks that you do, right? You want to know, like, your ride's limitations when it comes to braking. Like, you want to learn all that, right? And so it's important to know that, because being able to stop, it's super fucking important. like going fast is awesome, but if you don't have the capabilities to stop, or like if if you slam the brakes too hard and the wheels lock up on you, and then then you can't stop and you're sliding on, you're like, holy shit, you're gonna cause an accident, you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna get hurt, you might even fucking total your ride, and that's the fucking last thing I want you to do, right? And so you also gotta learn that if, like, the ass is sliding out on you, you want to be able to know which way to jerk the wheel so that your car can straighten back out. Like, and typically, if the ass is going to the right, you want to jerk the wheel in the opposite direction so that gets the car straightened out. The other way, if it's going to the left, you want to actually, when I said the opposite direction, that would be to the right, and that would actually make it more loose, out of control. Correction myself. You want to turn the wheel into the side that the ass is going out, so that you can straighten it out, and then you straighten back the wheel. So, like, if the car's going, the ass is sticking out to the left, you're scrubbing the wheel, and you want to turn the wheel to the left, so then you correct the car. Or if you're in the middle of a turn, what you want to do is you want to minimize the braking so that it doesn't straighten, so that it doesn't straighten out on you. So, like, if you're in the middle of a turn and you're braking and you're hauling ass and you're trying to make that turn, if you get on the brakes, the car is going to want to go straight. And so typically, if you go straight in the middle of the turn and you're hauling ass, you're going to fucking outrun the turn. You're going to go out into the grass area. You're going to go out into maybe in the car group area. You're going to fucking, it's not going to go good for you, right? And so you want to be able to know how much brake pressure to apply. And typically, you want to learn to apply as much brake pressure as you can, as late as you can, before initiating that turn, right? You also want, talking about braking here, you also want to learn how much brake pressure to apply, so that before the steering wheel, like, you want to learn how much brake pressure that you can physically apply to your brakes before your wheels start to lock up. Because if your wheels are locking up, and if you have ABS, you're going to be good, right? Because the ABS kicks in, it's going to modulate the brakes, and it's not going to let your wheels lock up. But if you have an old school car and you don't have ABS, like typically race cars, we eliminate all that shit. If you fucking smash the gas hard, your tires are going to lock up. Not only are you going to have bald spots on your tires if you make it, out of the situation, but you're going to slide and slide and slide until the wheels, they stop sliding and the car comes to a stop. Or, typically you can do a manual ABS, like you can pump the brakes yourself if you're really situational awareness is on point. Having a designated location where you can mess around. So I said this one before, but it's really important, right? Having somewhere where you can mess around, where you can have confidence, where you're not worried about hitting other things, other people, or other just factors. It just really becomes an important thing here, because it really just enables you to learn your ride without the worry of getting into an accident, or getting in trouble with the law, or hitting, or fucking just fucking up your shit, or getting hurt. It becomes an important part, and it just helps you become a better driver, right? And so situational awareness, kind of hit on that a little bit ago, but situational awareness is also an important factor here, because you got to be willing to know what's around you. You got to be willing to know what's up ahead, what's behind you, what's to the right, what's to your left. Like, you want to be able to constantly scan your environment so that you don't have any surprises to deal with, my friends. And you want to know what areas your mirrors cover, like, your rear view mirror. You want to know what areas it covers, and your side mirrors, what areas it covers. And also, more importantly, you want to know what areas it doesn't cover, so that, and those are called blind spots, by the way. And so you want to know what areas it covers and what areas it doesn't cover, so that you are in control of your surroundings, right? And you want to be able to really anticipate the actions of other drivers so that you can respond proactively, right? I know that there's been times, like for example, when I've been riding passenger, like I notice, um, like I specifically remember a situation here when I've been riding passenger in someone's car and they aren't paying attention, and you're like, oh, what the fuck, and you're kind of there paying attention to the road, but they're not paying attention to they're doing something, they're distracted, and I remember in this exact instance when a buddy of mine wasn't paying attention, and I was like, he was like, oh, I gotta get this text. And I was like, yo, just fucking pay attention. He's like, oh, I just got it. And so I was like extra paying attention to the road. Um, and then all of a sudden, this car started pulling out in front of him, and he didn't see it. And if it wasn't for me literally leaning over and snatching the wheel and fucking moving the car to the left, would have smashed into that car, would have crashed, right? Because he wasn't paying attention. And likewise, I've also been in scenarios where I haven't been paying attention. Like I remember for this one time, I was riding passenger in my buddy Ricky's ride, and I wasn't really paying attention. He gave me a ride. It's a fucking old school Model A. It has a turbo swapped Honda motor in it. It's fucking fast. And it's a wrap, like it's low to the ground, like it's super compact. You gotta really get in it. And I'm a big guy. I'm freaking 6'1". To get into that thing was it's a mission. And so we were going down the street, and I think the hood flew out on us. I think it was a hood or some type of body part. I'm pretty sure it was a hood. That shit flies off on us. And so we go and we pull over, and I go to get out of the car, and I'm struggling to get out of the car, right? And he's like, yo, hurry up, get out. And I was struggling because I'm a big guy, and I was fucking trying to get out of the car. And in that time, as I was getting out, I didn't realize that there was fucking a car approaching us from behind, and he didn't see us because it was nighttime. My buddy Ricky's, that ride has like very like thin lights, and I guess the car didn't see us. And if it wasn't for my boy's situational awareness and slamming on the gas, I literally got my ass out the car, and like he's fucking slamming on the gas and fucking hit it. As I jumped out, he pretty much kicked me out from the momentum of fucking hitting the car. Like we would have fucking got hit from behind, right? And so that situational awareness and that example really saved our asses. Like, and my dog Ricky is a really good fucking driver. Like we both share the passion for cars, and if it wasn't for him really being alert, that night could have ended really badly, right? You also want to be able to have precision and control of your ride, my friends. Like being smooth with the steering wheel, you want to be smooth with the acceleration, and you want to be smooth on the braking so that you can maintain your control. Like if you joke the wheel too aggressively, if like you smash the gas too hard, or you grab the brakes with too much pressure, your ride is gonna go out of control. And so you want to be able to properly approach and navigate around the corners so that you can maintain your speed, right? But most importantly, you want to be able to maintain your safety, right? I've done several mini autocross events, right? And those were fucking really fun because they've taught me a lot. And I learned actually by doing those events that hauling ass through the turn and your car like kind of sliding out to where it's barely losing, like gripping, it's actually not the fastest lane. Like I used to think, oh, fucking you give it all the gas, go around the turn as fast as possible, and fucking slam the gas again to the next one, and you hit the brake, and I used to think that was all about, that's how you would get faster lap times. And I learned that it's actually the fucking opposite. It's all about being smooth. Like the person who has the smoothest line, and that has his car's kind of just gliding through, more times than none is gonna have the faster line, right? And more times than none, going slower becomes equals to a faster lap time. I was gonna say it's a lower lap time, right? Faster lap time means lower number, and so going slower typically will give you a faster lap time to an extent, right? Because the reason why that is because if you're trying to haul ass and your car's kind of sliding, you're not being smooth, and by you opening up, slamming on the brakes as late as possible before you start turning, and then you start turning and you get back on the gas after you pass the apex of the turn, you're really able to carry the speed and being smooth. And those are situations where going slower through the turn becomes going faster or getting a faster lap time, right? Another key point to cover is really that you want to be able to adopt a defensive driving style. Like most of us drive in the offense. And the thing about driving in the offense is that we can cover a lot of ground by driving like that. Like we drive fast and we drive offensive and we're like, oh, fuck, we're going. But what happens is that it can get us into problems, right? And so the problem really becomes when you add other people, when you add other cars, when you add other objects, and you add other things, other components into the mix, and you're driving in the offense, you could really get into trouble. And so just know that what is going to happen out there is that you gotta learn to drive on the defensive side, right? Yes, go fast, be on the offense. And again, when I say go fast, do it at your own pace. Take your own, like, know your capabilities, man. I'm not here to tell you to fucking haul ass when maybe you can't. Just know that we typically haul ass. I see the speed limit as a suggestion anyway. So drive on the defensive. Offensive will get you going, but defensive will keep you alive, right? And you want to be able to maintain safe distances from other cars so that you have sufficient time to really just react around what's going on or what's happening out there, right? You want to be able to play out certain scenarios that are like in your head, like so that you can be ready for what's up ahead. Like a good example and I know everyone can fucking relate to this one, is like we all see a yellow light. We're approaching the fucking street light and it turns yellow. Bam. Yellow usually means stop, slow down. It's gonna turn to red. And that's really, truly what we should all do, right? You see the yellow light, we slow down. The thing is that most of us do the exact fucking opposite of that. We all see a yellow light and we all think to ourselves, hurry, smash the gas. Let's fucking get across this light before it turns red. Literally, everyone I know is usually like that, man. Like 9 out of 10 people usually fucking hit the gas when they see a yellow light. And so when you do this, and you see another ride, another car, another truck or whatever that's getting ready in front of you to make the turn up ahead, and it's going to cut in front of you, and you know that you're going to take that yellow light and you know that you're going to keep going straight, like a good, thing that you can do is that you can flash your lights or you can beep your horn. What you could do actually is fucking hit the brakes. That would be the important thing that we should all do, but I'm fucking guilty of that. And so if you're going to keep going straight, that car's there, wants to make the turn because he wants to, make the turn before it turns red, flash your lights or beep the horn or get ready to fucking hit the brakes or even swerve just in case that car decides to jump on in front of you. And by being really prepared for that situation, you can really help avoid an accident, right? And there's really so much, like the truth is that there's really so much to really becoming a better driver that it would be nearly impossible for me to just cover it all here in like a little 15-20 minute episode. So the best way that I can really just tell you how you can become a better driver and improve your skills is just to go out and practice. Like be humble about it. Like just want to go get better. Enjoy the driving experience. I know there's been many times where, especially late at night, where I'm like, I need to clear my mind. And I just go out for a drive. And I go to areas that are not busy, areas that are kind of low traffic areas, and I go do my thing. I go practice and I go enjoy myself and I go become a better driver, right? Something else that you can do, and something that I really recommend, is for you to just look up professional driving classes, classes in your area, classes in your local racetrack, and just go be willing to go practice regularly. It's not as expensive as you think, and it becomes really fun when you can go with a group of friends, right? And I'm going to share this because it really has bitten me in the ass before, and I want you to bite you in the ass too, right? When you go to one of these classes, like stay humble, like take it all in because there's always something to learn. Like, yeah, you might have more experience probably than the regular guy, but don't let the ego get the best of you. Like, go and listen with all your ears and see what you can learn, because there always is something that you can fucking learn, my friends. Like most of the time, every single time that I've attended one of these classes or one of these events or one of these something, if you're willing to look at it and have that type of mindset, have that type of growth mindset, you can really learn and you can really evolve after every event, and you can improve your skills. You can improve your lap time. You can learn something about your car. You can fucking just evolve after every event and every class that you take. So don't let the ego get the best of you, because if you do, the worst and probably the shit that we don't want to end up happening is that we all end up getting into a crash because we play this I know it all type of mentality. Just fucking go there with a humble mindset and yeah, push the limits, but listen to the instructors and see what they got to say, because they're instructors for a reason. Typically, you could always pick up something. You could always want to learn, right? And lastly, really, it's just you want to make sure that your ride's maintenance is in top shape so that you can go use it and you can go abuse your machine with confidence, right? You want to be able to make sure that your tires have enough tread on them and that really that all your tires are inflated to what you like. And I'm not going to say what you like because we all like different air pressures. If you don't know what air pressure works for you, Google it or try different, tire pressures. Typically, lower tire pressure will provide you more grip, and higher tire pressure will provide you less grip, right? And you also want to make sure that all your fluids are topped off, like that, and especially that nothing is leaking, that you have sufficient oil, that you have sufficient coolant, so your shit doesn't overheat, that all your fluids are good. And you also want to make sure that you have enough brake pads. This one's fucking important because as we go faster, as we push the limits, the faster we go, the harder we will be on our brakes. And we're going to need our brakes to slow down. And so the last thing that you want to do is be left without any stopping power in a fucking situation where you really need to get on your brakes. And then you fucking end up crashing. So remember, my friends, performance is key, but safety always tops it because we want to make sure that we make it home in one piece. We want to make sure that we make it back to our loved ones. And we want to make sure that everyone around us also makes it home in one piece because an accident from our end can end up hurting other people as well. Know that a well-maintained vehicle really performs better and it's just fucking more reliable. And after all, just go out and have fucking fun, man. Become one with your ride and let's just have a fucking blast while driving. Fucking just go enjoy it. Hit that gas wide open, man. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level the fuck up is the mission that God has tasked us with. Join me on this journey while we empower our people to do more and be more. Man, and if by any chance you haven't subscribed yet, grab that scramble button so that you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, my brothers, my sisters, I'm asking you to please share this on your IG stories and tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that really just get more gearheads to see and hear about this podcast. I'll catch up with you on the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.